Hello makers, welcome to the Maker Jungle. I'm Heather the Queen Crafter here, and today I'm here to teach you how to use the peyote stitch. This technique is fundamental in bead weaving and bead embroidery. Once you master the basics of peyote stitch, you can use it in many different ways. For today's tutorial, I'm using a long beading needle, nylon thread, and delicate beads size 11 in yellow, red, and pink. We will be working an even count peyote with a foundation of 10. Let's begin by anchoring our thread. I anchor my thread by wrapping it around my finger. Some people may use a crimp bead, but this is easier for me. It helps me control the thread just a little bit better. So like I said, we're going to start with a foundation of 10. We're going to alternate colors, red and yellow, to the count of 10. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I look at it and make sure that it is 10 and I don't have any stray beads that piggybacked on. We're going to work our beads. I work it about 4 fingers up because it keeps the tension of the thread, and my controlling finger, my index finger, is at the top. So we're going to anchor right here. We're going to pick up our first pink bead. We're going to skip the top yellow and go down top to bottom in our first red bead. And when we do that, it's going to make a little pyramid and put the yellow and the pink right next to each other. We're going to skip the next yellow, and we're going to pick up a pink and go top to bottom in the next red. Just like so. Pick up another pink. We're going to skip the next yellow and go top to bottom in the next red. Skip the yellow, pick up a pink, top to bottom in the next red. Skip the yellow, and then top to bottom in the bottom red. This first row can be a little bit hard to manage with managing thread tension and beads that want to slide and things like that, but once you do it a couple of times, you kind of know where the pattern is going to be, and it becomes easier to manage it. There's also a 2 needle method. I may do a video on that at another time, but I usually only use that when I have 30, 40 beads across. But for 10, this method is sufficient. All right, so now we have our foundation. We're going to go back to yellow, because you can see we're going to have a yellow, red, pink pattern here. So now we're going to be working upwards. We're going to we want our yellow bead to be in the valley next to the red. So we're going to go up, bottom to top, into the pink. Just like that. Pick up another yellow. Then we're going to go bottom to top in the next pink. another yellow. Then we're going to go bottom to top in the next pink. Next yellow. Bottom to top in pink. And one more yellow. Bottom to top in the pink. So now you can see we're starting to get this thicker piece going. Okay, so now we just did yellow, so now we're going to do red. And we're going to go top to bottom. You want that red bead to go next to the pink, so you're going to go top to bottom in the first yellow. Just like that. Make sure you keep your thread tension nice and tight so that the beads stay secure to one another. If you keep your thread too loose, you start to get gaps in your pieces. And you can see the thread and it's just unattractive. Top to bottom. Next red, top to bottom. Now see how my thread looped over the other side? Always make sure you're paying attention to where your thread is. If you don't pay attention to where your thread is, then you get things in the wrong place, and then you get rows and rows down and you have to come back and fix it. Okay, so now we have our red row. Now we're going to do our last row of pink. And you can see I'm still kind of holding my anchor here. I don't want your finger to turn purple, but as soon as you feel comfortable enough that you can hold the piece, you can let your anchor go. Bottom to top. Just like that. You can see here is a bigger example. Once you get several rows down, you start to get this wider piece, and you can see how this could become a bracelet. Here I've used the same stitch. I used a size 8 seed beads, so it's big and chunky, kind of like that. I used delicate beads on this one, and I just put them in a round. You can also use peyote with different size beads, and then you kind of get a wave pattern. So this is just a basic chevron using different size beads, and you get this, kind of cool wave pattern. So now that you know the basics of peyote, it will be easier for you to understand the fundamentals of a lot of bead weaving patterns and some of the techniques that are used for bead embroidery, which is personally my favorite. Thanks for coming by. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.